What's going on, you guys? It's your boy K0zzee coming with you with another epic One Piece battle. Here we have the mirror match versus myself and our good friend Axolawtl on the Gecko Morias. Huge shout out to the People's Card Shop once again for hosting a great locals tournament where we actually got to enjoy ourselves and have a ton of fun playing with different leaders and different kind of off meta / meta picks, kind of a healthy blend of both. If you haven't checked them out yet, I'm going to put a link to their information in the description below. They host a lot of different events like Pokemon tournaments, Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, Lorcana tournaments. I believe they hosted a Grand Archive tournament as well at one point. So they may be doing something like that in the future. And of course they host One Piece. So give them the props that they do deserve and give them the great credit that they earned. And so we're just getting our rolls in. We're going to roll a solid 12 on our end. So naturally we're going to take the first go, I believe, is the play here on the Gecko Moria, especially in the mirror matches. So that way we get that cost reduction Gecko Moria on the 9 Dawn turn. Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm just going to ship that thing on back. I didn't like anything in there. So when it comes to the Gecko Moria mirror match, first of all, it's alt leader versus normal leader. So we're already behind on the curve here, boys. But that doesn't necessarily mean we can't come back. But more importantly, in the Gecko Moria mirror match, what you want to kind of aim for is just making sure you have a solid board control and a board presence, while at the same time kind of just poking down at your opponent is what I believe the Gecko Moria mirror match kind of comes down to. It's more so, can I poke you enough and keep a bigger board so that way when I do and am ready to go for game, that is where, we shine and where we push. If I remember right, we each had pretty much the same list where we were running Rebecca's, we were running Hina's, Borsalino blockers. So the Borsalino blocker, especially in this matchup, is killer. So that's going to be the bane of both of these decks' existence because we don't really bottom deck anything. We are a fully KO by effects, and Borsalino just gets right on around that. So that is something to be mindful of, is those who play Borsalino and it sticks are going to have a better opportunity at protecting from essentially the crackback or even just surviving another turn. Just taking a quick look, and there is our bumps. All right, get our life in order. Go to that 5 life because it's a monocolored leader. 5 apiece, 5 apiece. We're going to play Dawn and pass. No Sindri in this opening hand, unfortunately for us. But that opens up our opponent to going into like a Sindri play of their own, or even a brand new play at this point. So we'll see what they ultimately want to do. They're going to play Sindri turn 1. All right, so the Sindri play is going to get them some card advantage here. Quite a bit of cards. I did see a Rebecca in that quick little flash. And I mean, with nothing else to do, we're going to crack the turn on back to go to 3 Dawn. We can use leader skill at this point, which we're going to go ahead and swing 6 into lead using that leader skill. Yep. We're going to trash a Perona for a Lucci and a Suru. So unfortunately, we didn't pull any Thriller Barks other than that Perona, forcing them to discard 1 card from their hand and then 6k to leader. I have to flip it the right way because it has to look nice. If the Dawn and the leader and the characters are all not tapped in the same way, I do not like it. Looks like he is going to counter out of that particular attack, and we can just send the turn on back to Mr. Axolawtl here. So in the Gecko Moria mirror match, I kind of want to know from you guys as well, what is your approach? Oh, he ends up taking the life. Interesting. Back to square one. I didn't think he would counter out of that, but oh well, it is what it is. But in the Gecko Moria mirror match, what do you guys feel is the toughest matchup? What's the easiest kind of way to get through it? What are cards that you don't want to look for? Such and things like that. Let me know down in the comments below. I kind of want to pick your guys' brain on how to approach the Gecko Moria mirror match. He is going to swing 7k into leader, trashing a Perona, causing us to do the same. We're just going to easily hand off that Gecko Moria because we may have some way to get it back in the future. We're just going to take it. No trigger. Still maintaining that 4 life apiece. And possibly nothing else to really do on this turn because the Sindri can't attack into us because we're too big. And he just played the Perona, so send the turn on back. We go to 5 Dawn, either this turn or the next turn for Gecko Moria. On the odd curve, you want to prep for getting Gecko Moria in our hand and a very healthy trash. So we're going to pay 2 here for brand new. Ooh, we're trashing a Perona, Helmeppo, and a Rebecca. So we definitely have the cards in hand to necessarily do stuff. We have the Helmeppo in hand, which I mean we can just use for a counter. We'll start with 6k to leader. We're gonna trash something off of it. We're gonna trash the Rob Lucci from hand. We're gonna see Sabo Suru. And the only thing we can really grab is that Perona again, I believe. Yep, we're gonna grab that Perona, causing them to discard a card from their hand. Again, it's just hand control. Ideally, would I like to see a Hogback in this situation? Yes, 100%. The Hogback's gonna help us get Gecko, but we have until next turn to really start worrying about things like that. So we'll see what he takes with the 6k to leader. He discards a card, which is why we tap the leader and play it again. He's going to instantly take it, go back down to 3. Nothing crazy after that. 5k with Perona. And he's going to counter out of that one, and we will pass the turn on back for their 6 Dawn turn. And it would pretty much be the same thing here as well. If they don't have Gecko Moria in hand, they can prep for it on this turn. Just so that way on the 8 Dawn, they can swing 5 with their current board and play Gecko Moria. But again, 5k into leader. We're going to get rid of that Helmeppo. So now we definitely have the Helmeppo Lucci combo if we have Gecko Moria in hand. And so now we're just patiently waiting. What can we possibly do? He's going to swing 5 into the Perona. We're going to lose out on the Perona, but that's okay. Because, I mean, at the end of it, we have another opportunity for hand control, for cost reduction, this, that, and the other, because Perona is such a flexible card in that regard. But what is he going to be playing for 6 Dawn? Playing with the trash a little bit. We like to be a raccoon here on this channel. Interesting. Playing Ice Age, it looks like, on the Perona. Yep. But that doesn't necessarily do anything for us, especially playing Ice Age this early. Oh, he's going to play Lucci and KO, both of our cards here, putting stuff back at the bottom. Okay. So it makes a little bit more sense. I think him just clearing out the board and just having a bigger presence, that is actually a really good idea. Looking at it from now, right? Not necessarily in the gameplay, like when we're in the match. But I could just imagine that if it was frustrating to kind of see the board just instantly pop. Go to 7. So now is the Gecko Moria prep turn. Do I have a cost reducer? Do I have Gecko Moria? If not, what do I need to do to get it? Is kind of the plan here. I think there is a Gecko Moria in hand, it looks like. I see a little hint of the purple in the hand. I don't think it's a bad idea. Still needs some cost reduction, though. Ideally, what we can do is probably take out the Perona by battle. And then play a blocker and just block her up. I think that is also a very strong strategy for us to kind of worry about. Maybe the Borsellino, maybe the Sabo. Oh, we're going to go K0zzee on first turn. So there is our natural cost reduction. Let's go ahead and go 6k into Perona. Using, again, that leader skill, we're going to trash something. We're going to trash another K0zzee for brand new Perona. Just not seeing the things we want to see here, unfortunately. We're going to put the Perona back into hand. Not using skill, it looks like, because he does have 3 cards in hand. And yeah, just 6k into Perona. We're slowly building that board back up. We now have an effective cost reducer in the K0zzee on attack. He's going to counter out of that. And we'll just pass the turn on back and have to worry about the consequences of our actions later. And so with that K0zzee in play, that's going to help us tremendously, especially we can just swing 5 into like the leader, into Perona, and put a -4 on the Lucci. And then that makes the Helmeppo and Gecko Moria play just that much more enticing to have. So I swing 5 into leader. We'll just take it because we don't want to really lose hand advantage. And we had the extra life to kind of play with in terms of life advantage. So it's nothing out of the blue. But now some strategies come in. Are you going to play that Gecko Moria? Yes. We're playing Gecko Moria on the 8 Dawn. And so we can play 2 characters, 4 cost or less and a 2 cost or less, 1 rested, 1 active. So if he ends up playing 2 characters, he's going to most likely get rid of that Sindri. There is another Rob Lucci. But the question is, what is he going to be taking out? So he's got the Helmeppo. He's going to aim it on the K0zzee, gets rid of the Sindri, and then Lucci is going to pop the K0zzee. So that kind of puts us behind the curve a little bit. In hindsight, you know, he is going to 8 Dawn, so we definitely did not want to play the K0zzee because the K0zzee is just going to lose its life, unfortunately. And so again, just more stuff to be mindful for, more things to be attentive to. But I don't know if there was any other option. Swing 5 into leader, swing 6 into leader. We're going to counter out of both of those and just survive for another turn. Ideally, what we would like to see is like a Great Eruption or an Ice Age off of the top. Didn't really see anything we liked. So, I mean, the other option, of course, is still just play Gecko Moria and get rid of the Lucci and the Helmeppo. We're going to swing 6 into the Lucci. He does have low card hand size, so we may be able to get away with him losing Lucci here. And then we can Gecko Moria into getting rid of the other active Lucci and the Helmeppo. The decisions of whether to counter or not, I mean, it's just a 1k. A 1k gets him out of this. Gonna let it go. Tap 8 for our own Gecko Moria. And so we can definitely go Helmeppo rested. And where's our boy? Mr. Lucci. So beautiful. We're gonna minus the Lucci, put him down to 1. And then the Lucci effect, we're gonna KO the Lucci and the Helmeppo. So essentially just clearing out the board, we're going to put a K0zzee, a brand new, and a Sabo back to the bottom of the deck. And we still have a 5k swing to go. We may swing that 5 into Perona because, 5 into Perona because we saw he didn't take the 1k for the Lucci. So it was a safe bet to just assume that we were going to clear out the board again. So now the board presence has swung back into our favor here. And now it's just a matter of, can we survive? Of course, the Dawn and the characters have to be facing the same way. In this case, the Dawn is facing the opposite way, but I prefer if the characters and leaders all face the same way. It's just a habit of mine that I have to have them facing the same way. Looks like 2 cards in hand for Axolawtl, maybe 3. Looks like 3 now that I'm kind of looking at it a little bit closer. And I think we have a few cards in our own. We each have 3 cards in hand. We don't really have to play anything else from our hand at this moment, just because the board presence for us is super strong. Of course, him being on the 10 Dawn turn, what can we do? I mean, we could just take it down to, I think, maybe 2 or even 1 life in this situation. As long as he's not hitting the board, that's all that we really care about in this particular instance. So just something to be mindful of. We do have a Sabo in hand, it looks like, in a 2K. He's going to double Great Eruption, it looks like. Or Great Eruption Ice Age. That could also be a possibility. Taking our Gecko Moria down to 1. Not sure what he played a Suru. A Suru and another cost reducer. Either way, Gecko Moria goes down to 1 cost. But is there a way for him to KO who we need? He's going to play another Lucci, popping the Gecko Moria and the Helmeppo. Interesting. Just the constant back and forth is just awesome to see in a mirror match like this. Because normally, like in the mirror match, you're just sitting there like, okay, are you going to attack first? Am I going to attack first? Who's swinging where? But I think just the back and forth of this of like, okay, I'm going to get a bigger board presence than you first, and then I'm going to swing, and just that moment and that anticipation of when are the attacks going to come in is just something super exciting to see for like this particular mirror match. Like if it's a Yamato mirror match, it gets really, really stale because we're just swinging big swings at each other for big damage. Just checking to see what he put at the bottom of his deck there for the Lucci. Just that way I can kind of be conscientious of what may or may not be in trash. I've been keeping a closer look in this instance. I didn't have to go back in and refer to his trash so far. Then we lose the Perona by some means. Just sitting there fiddling with the hands. I've noticed as a player, what I do is I'm sitting there constantly like playing with my hands and doing something with them. I don't know, maybe if that could possibly be a tell to opponents. He's going to swing into us. We're going to take it. We'll go down to 2. We'll lose the life advantage here. Yep, he did swing with the Gecko Moria into life or into the Perona. Okay, that makes more sense now. He's going to pass the turn back to us. I think in this case, 1 Dawn. We're going to Great Eruption, draw minus on the Gecko. Did we just pull another Gecko Moria from hand? Did we just do this? All right, now we got to come up with some decisions here. This is the hardest part for Gecko Moria, of course, is what can we do here? We do have a Sabo blocker. We do have a Sindri 2K. Maybe what looks like an Absalom? Just from the quick glance. We still have 9 Dawn to play with. Paying 4 of it. Okay, we're going to go with the Borsalino blocker just to kind of protect us here for a second. 5 Dawn. We're going to swing 5 into leader here. He's going to end up taking it. Debating whether to trigger or not. He's going to call no trigger here. We could do a Sabo play, draw 2, trash 2, which we're paying 5. And that's exactly what we do. We play Sabo, draw 2. Question is, what 2 are we going to be trashing here? Trashing an Absalom and a Hogback. And then 6K into leader. He's going to end up taking that one as well. And so now I think it's a matter of he needs 5 swings essentially to remove us without providing any counters. But in reality, he only has 3 swings on board. We could take 1 or 2 of those hits, no cost to us, and then start giving up blockers. Which, I mean, ideally in this case, they're both 6Ks at this point. So it doesn't matter which one we give up. Ideally, you want to give up the Sabo first. So he's going to Great Eruption, draw a card, probably minus on the Lucci. But it's not necessarily going to matter for us because we all have the Sabo protection, so we cannot be KO'd by card effect. I think maybe what I'm going to do also is I'm going to make markers for like when we have Sabo protection. I don't know, just like the sim does. I think the sim has the right idea of putting Sabo on the actual card. Just that way it can't be KO'd by like card effect and stuff like that. And it's just a nice visual representation. But at the same time, I feel like as long as I know I have Sabo protection, then it's not necessarily going to matter. But what do you guys think? Do you guys feel like providing that marker to your opponent is, you know, beneficial or helpful for what you want to kind of do? He's going to play a Sabo blocker of his own. Drawing 2, trashing 2. I mean, for me personally, I feel like it's giving information to your opponent that they should already know. But I'm also a nice person, so I probably just do it anyway. 8 into Lucci. Counter out with 2 Ks. So we survive with double Sindri. 1 card in hand, 1 hope, 1 dream, 2 life. Another 8 into Lucci. I mean, we can't counter out of it. We might have to let the Lucci go. But now we're debating whether or not we need to do anything. We're going to give up the Borsalino in this case. I think maybe the better play would have also been to give up the Sabo. Yep, now we can give up the Lucci. So he swings a ton of resources into us and for virtually nothing. So we are down to just a Sabo, unfortunately, on our board. So we're definitely behind. He has a Sabo of his own. None of his characters can be KO'd. So things are looking grim in the K0zzee game side. And things are looking pretty strong for Axolawtl here. But who knows where this match can go, because with the back and forth, it has been a very difficult way of identifying where we are going to be kind of pushing. So now we may be just swinging for the fences here. If only black had like a rush character, it would make this deck have a few more different options and plays. Maybe that's something that can come out in a later set. Okay, nothing crazy, 7 to life. Maybe a later set would have a nice black rush that can be used in Gecko Moria. I think that would be a very strong option for mono black leaders to just definitely utilize. Okay. So he's going to counter out with the Sabo. We're going to pay 8 for another Gecko Moria. And instead of doing the pop effect, ooh, interesting. We're going to go Borsalino here. Maybe brand new? Definitely brand new. So now we're going to do some more searching here for Hina, Absalom. I wonder what we're picking. We're going to pick a Hina in this particular case. And I don't think it has any counter on it, if I remember right. So big whiff on us, but we reset our board here for some defensive plays. Back to 2 cards in hand and just crack the turn on back to our opponent. Unfortunately, we are now susceptible to KO effects. So we just have to be kind of cautious here on what we can really do for kind of protecting our board here. Not sure what the game plan could possibly be, but it is something that we need to kind of worry about here a little bit and just make sure that we can maintain a board and make sure we maintain that presence. Some potential outs that we do have at this point is just taking that first life, of course. Great Eruption. We're going to have him discard a card from hand to really reduce that resource he has. Because we don't necessarily want to hold on to the Great Eruption at this point. I felt, you know, him losing cards in hand is just something that we can really hold on to. We're just going to take we took the Gecko swing because we don't need to counter out of that. He now needs to invest more Dawn into trying to push for us. He's going to go 8 to life. We can survive 3 total, or 1, 2, 3. 3 additional attacks. We're just going to take it, taking ourselves dangerously down to no life here. This is definitely a scary moment, but we do have 2 blockers on board. And now we have an additional card in hand. So we have a ton of resources available to us. But I mean, he does have 2 extra swings, unless he really wants to put it on the Suru and worry about it. Yep, so he already swung with Lucci. We're going to swing 7. We're going to block with Sabo and give up 2/1 2Ks. Oh, so he went 8. Okay, and then we countered out 9. Okay, that makes more sense. So 8 to lead, block with Sabo, 2 and a 1. Survive the turn. So he's going to play another Sabo. Oh my gosh. And so Sabo protection, drawing 2, trashing 2. Just wanted to double check if it was the blocker Sabo, and it is. Just because it's the alternate art. I've never seen the alternate art in person, so always double check and make sure. So we do have technically 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 swings on board. Now we're just going to try and math it out here is what it looks like. We're just laying out our Dawn, trying to make sure we could just bulldoze our way over. We don't need to play anything from hand. We have 5 swings essentially on board. So not a lot to really worry about. So I'm thinking 8, 10, 7, maybe 7, 5. Interesting. So we are going brand new to life. Ooh. We're just going to go for it. 7K to leader. He's either going to have to give us a blocker or 3 cards. I don't think he has 3 cards in hand to really give up for that. We still have some Dawn to play with. We're going to go 7 to leader. No skill. Gives it up. And we're going to be double bapping, and boom, GG's from K0zzee Games. They're coming back from behind there on the last turn with that double Sabo. But he did only have just the 1 card in hand. He had 2K counter, so it wasn't any way for him to kind of get around it. Unfortunately, he had to give us those blockers, which was the green sign for let's go ahead and take the win here. Had Ice Age Hina in hand, so it's not like we had any counters of our own. So it was either that turn or bust for us. But overall, excellent game. Thank you again to Axolawtl for a wonderful round here at Locals. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace and love, y'all.